If you've been watching the videos, you hear me talk a lot about how it's important to understand psychology and neuroscience to be an effective marketer. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite neuroscience topics, which is the reticular activating system, otherwise known as the RAS, R-A-S. Now take a look at this diagram. Your reticular activating system is actually part of your brain's physical makeup. All of your sights and all of the sounds that you hear are actually filtered right through the RAS. So the RAS actually decides what makes it to your brain for conscious processing. So no matter how much you feel like you notice everything that happens to you and you see everything that's happening in the world, it's actually impossible. And here's why. We would not be able to function if we were taking in all of the information that was coming at us from every direction every single minute of every day. So think about walking out into a field of grass. You actually just see that as one physical object. It's a field of grass. In reality, there's 150,000 individual blades of grass. Now, it would be totally useless for your mind to fixate on the nuance of 150,000 blades of grass. You wouldn't be able to function and do the things that are important for you. Now, why is it important to see the field of grass as one object? Because there could be a brown spot far off in the distance. And now that brown spot might be food, and you might be on a mission looking for something to eat. Or it could be a mountain lion, and noticing it far away is going to increase your chance of surviving rather than being focused on all those blades of grass. So it's the same filter that decides what doesn't get in that actually allows you to focus on the things that should get in. So let me give you another example. Let's say you're walking through a busy airport. You've probably done this before. There are literally thousands of individual voices and sounds hitting you from all around, and you're completely oblivious to all of them. Yet as soon as somebody announces your name over the loudspeaker, you stop in your tracks. You don't even have to hear it a second time. They've got your attention. It's because your reticular activating system not only filters out the extraneous information, but it makes sure that it keys in on the familiar information when it's critical to whatever mission you're on, such as surviving or accomplishing something. So walking through the airport, it's important for you to know if your flight's delayed or if you've lost your baggage. That would be a mission that you would be on. So if you understand the reticular activation system, you can understand that consumers are ignoring 99% of your marketing. Basically, your ad is like one of those voices in the airport. They're just walking around, purposely filtering it out. They're completely helpless to doing this. They don't even know that they're doing it. But their brain is preventing all of your advertising messages from even hitting their conscious. So you can use this information to actually get through. So if you can come up with something that is completely out of the ordinary, something totally unexpected, like that mountain lion far off in the field, that either signals opportunity or danger, you have a better chance of getting through the RAS and actually getting your message absorbed by the consumer. This is why it's important to have messages that don't sound and look just like your competition. Because once I know that I understand what an insurance product is and I decide it's not for me, then my RAS is basically going to say, you never need to see that again, and I'm just going to filter that out everywhere I go. It's going to take a pretty unique message to penetrate that RAS and actually get my attention. So it's the same thing with the airport example. And another example that people talk about all the time is when you buy a new car. So all of a sudden you buy a new car and everywhere you go, that's the car that you see on the road. It's as if over the weekend, 10% of the population went out and bought the same car that you have. But it was always there. Your brain just wasn't seeing it. But now that it's familiar and important to you, you're starting to notice it everywhere. So we can also use this phenomenon in our marketing as well. If you can key in on the exact position or the benefit or some other thing that is innately important and innately familiar to your consumer, then they're going to notice it. And so this is why companies specialize and they create segmented advertising. Because if you're an insurance agency owner and an advertisement actually starts with, hey, insurance agency owners, this is for you, you're going to actually filter through the field of grass and key in on that important element. So understand that all of your prospective customers are walking around purposely filtering out all of your advertisements. They can't help it. It's based in our biology. But if you understand that, and you also understand the good advertisements that will break through by either startling them, challenging their understanding, seeming completely new, or keying in on what they're looking for and what mission they're trying to accomplish, you're going to stand a better chance of getting through. You can use this information when you're writing headlines, when you're naming products, and anytime you're designing a landing page or a promotion. This is going to make you a more effective advertiser. So take a look at the reticular activating system and use it in your marketing arsenal.